The oversold stocks where I look for reversion trades did not have a lot to offer when I was looking at them. I'll just show you guys the screener real quick. What do I have up right now? Nope, that's not the right one. So oversold reversion setups, nothing with 20 RSI. And when you go to 30, it's nothing I care about at all. And remember, I've said this before, when I start opening up these filters, it's like I'm just grasping for straws at that point. Like, none of these really interest me for that type of setup where something has just capitulated so much that we're looking for that bounce play. So none of these really look good. So there's nothing for that section this week. And that's fine. You guys got to understand that sometimes setups take a while to develop. And, you know, some days there'll be so many of them, you don't even know which one to choose from. Other days, there's just nothing, right? So now we're going to move on to the short ideas. And the first idea is AMC. And I want to talk about why. Let's get to pull up. I like this daily chart setup right here where we got the big move, lots of volume. I think there's a lot of people stuck up there, and the fact that, you know, we put in a lower high on Friday, obviously make sure you understand it's not a confirmed lower high, but it looks like it could be, right? We would have to roll over and lose Thursday's lows would confirm the lower high. So if we lose 1886, this thing can come back down. And I actually am swinging some short still. It's one of the few things I've traded while on the road. You guys hopefully by this point understand the cult that's behind AMC and understand like what's actually going on behind the scenes, where you have a ton of retail traders that are relatively newer traders, and they're living in an echo chamber where, you know, some of the stuff that is being passed off as credible information is really far from it. And there's a lot of things that are quasi conspiracy theory, and, you know, there's nothing more dangerous than to be wrong about something that you have really high conviction in. So for instance, some of the stuff that you hear these guys talk about is like that it's just jam-packed with shorts, and they think that there's shorts still stuck in it from before the before this run up. They think that this run up trapped a bunch of shorts, and those shorts didn't get squeezed out. And they're not talking about shorts like me. They're talking about shorts like large hedge fund, gigantic positions that they think got caught up in this move and didn't get squeezed out. And it really does show that they don't have a fundamental understanding of how risk management at large firms works, and the fact that, you know, it's not like being long, or where you can only lose all of the money you have. If a firm was short in the 4s, 5s, 6, 7, 8s, which is what they think these guys, and they aren't wrong. There were people short in those levels, like sadistically short, like gigantically short, but they got squeezed out on these moves. They either followed their risk management department's recommendations and demands and closed out positions, which is what caused the squeeze too, right? Or they blew up. You do not have a gigantic short position at 5 and ride something to 70 without blowing up, guys. It's not the way it works. And so the reason I'm pointing that out is these people think that there's a ton of shorts stuck from way down here. I'm telling you right now, the only shorts that are in this are shorts that have been in from way up in here. Like, there's not a single short that could really be underwater when they've shorted this whole way down. And so, you know, if you think that kind of stuff is true, and you're like just fully all in on this play and convinced that it's going to squeeze because it's going to have another short squeeze, there's nothing more dangerous than that, because that's the kind of Kool-Aid that will cause you to ride this thing all the way down. That's what these guys have done. There are so many retail traders that are stuck in this thing long with terrible averages, and they keep going to Twitter or social media like YouTube and Instagram, wherever they're at, and looking for confirmation bias, and they're finding it in droves. They're finding so many people that are telling them, like, don't worry, man, just add more, just buy more. Like, this is going to the moon. It's going to, like, I've heard some outlandish numbers. So when you get that kind of situation, it's actually, those are the kinds of setups for shorts that we really like, because as long as that's their sentiment, this is most likely going lower. That's just the way the market works, guys. I've been trading long enough that I know the market will find your breaking point. It will. And if these people think that it can't go single digits, the market's most likely going to be like, yeah, let me show you, right? And it's sad and it sucks. And I'm by no means do I want people to lose money. There are people out there that are bad actors that are passing off bad information and like trying to generate a following, and they're probably, but other than them, the majority of people that are in this are good people that had just listened to the wrong people, and they've drank the Kool-Aid and now they're living in an echo chamber, and it sucks. And you know what? The best thing that can happen is they learn from the mistakes and maybe can make a real attempt at learning how to trade if that's what they want to do. Most of them, unfortunately, don't. They talk about wanting to fix the broken system. And the funniest thing ever is like, you don't have to be long something as it goes to zero, or I'm not saying AMC is going to zero, but you don't have to be long something that's just on a perpetual downtrend in order to make a point and try to fix the rigged system. That can be done other ways. Okay, so I think they say that. What really is they want this thing to squeeze so they can all get rich, and I just don't think it's going to happen. And if you guys understand market cap, and you have to understand that before this squeeze happened, this had, I want to say it was trading at like a 6 or 7 billion market cap. It might have been lower. I have the spreadsheet somewhere where I did all the research on it, and I don't have it because I'm traveling. But it had a small float. It wasn't a huge float. It wasn't small either, but it wasn't what it is now. It's now 516 million shares because after this big move up, they diluted. And that's what happens. They raised money, they dumped a ton of shares, and it's now 500, I want to say it's like 516 million is the OS. And if you understand how market cap works, market cap is a product of price and outstanding shares. And so some of these cult members that think this is going higher have started to say like, no, it's not even a squeeze play. Now it's a fundamental play. Well, I want to make sure it's crystal clear to people that even if AMC somehow miraculously saves their business because they've got really bad debt. Like, I mean, so much debt that I don't understand how they're going to come out of this without raising more and diluting more, but that's a conversation for a different day. But even if they save their business and they grow into a cash flow positive business that's doing great things, what market cap does it really deserve? Because for this thing to even be trading at 20 with 500 million OS gives it a much different market cap than it had prior to the squeeze, right? So like, you have to understand that if this business doesn't really change, and if it just kind of like is trying to survive, which is what they're doing, they're trying to survive. If that's what happens, then the justified market cap should probably be somewhere down around where it was before COVID. And that ain't here, right? That's probably $4 or $5, maybe even lower. So understand that, if you hear people talking about this being a valuation play or a fundamental play, they're delusional as well. So what I like about it from a technical standpoint, guys, is I want to treat this as though it has made a lower high, and I'm already in it. I'm looking to add on pops, and my risk is over Wednesday's highs. I think that's Wednesday, right? Yeah, March 23rd's highs. So, over March 23rd's highs, I'm out, but any spikes up into the levels of significance, such as Friday's high, which is also right there at that monthly pivot, I'm going to be adding back into my position. I locked in quite a bit on Friday when we came back down to 20, but I'm definitely looking to add back in on pops and thinking that this is coming back down to the 20-day at least. I think it's going back to the 20-day, but that's near term. I'm kind of tempted to put my money where my mouth is and hold some short for a much bigger move down, like maybe new lows from what was this? Under March 14th lows. I would love to like carry this into the single digits and actually, like I said, put my money where my mouth is. I'm considering it, so we'll see. But there's going to be day trades. This is one of my favorite stocks to trade because it's so liquid, and at this price range to get, it's got $1.83 ATR. You can make a point or a point and a half on this thing on any given day with any amount of size you want because it's so liquid. So that's the idea on AMC, guys. I'm sorry that one was so drawn out, but I wanted to actually discuss more than just the trade idea on AMC, guys. And you know, moving forward, if I do talk about AMC again, it'll just be the trade ideas. Okay, you can always refer back to this Sunday prep if you want to go be reminded about what my thoughts were on the fundamental stuff of it. So TTD is the next one. It's actually the last one in this section. And the level I have on this is a pop in the 70, which is the monthly pivot. The 50 days curling down in that area, and that's also Wednesday's high. So a spike up in the 70, and I'd be looking to short TTD, guys. And again, remember, risk management. So if the trade doesn't work, I'm stopping out, and I'll take my loss, and I'll move on and hunt my next trade. Make sure you guys have your own plan, okay? Now, the last section is overbought reversion setups, and there are some. And why would there be some? Remember what we talked about in the sector analysis, energy and oil, right? So the two that stood out to me were MOS, or I'll start with MOS. MOS is speeding up again, and it's pulling away. You remember we liked it here, and it gave a good trade. I told you guys I don't like it in here because once it has that reset, it can go higher, and it is higher. Now let's get zoomed out to see the higher time frame charts. Yeah, you see this level right here. Let's draw a line so we have it. It's going to be 75 is and again, that's another one of those psychological levels, guys. So 75 area is definitely going to be an area of my interest, especially if this gets there in an emotional manner, right? This thing rips off the open on Monday up into 75. I'm getting short. I know how to control my risk and manage it. Make sure you guys do, but I've got my eye on this one again. The next one was CF. And you have to understand, these are chemical pesticide companies that are, the reason they would be up is a lot of pesticides are made from oil, right? Petrochemicals, I believe. And I'm not a scientist or engineer or anything, so if you guys want to make fun of me for being wrong about that shit or something, go for it. But I will trade the living piss out of these things and make some money. This is another one that's speeding up. We liked it here, gave the fade. Again, I really thought that it kind of sucked that they had to gap it up over this because I thought there was a really good long trade coming, but they never really gave the opportunity to get it. Now we're extending again. I do not really have a level on this one. I think we're all-time highs on this. Let me double check just to verify. Yeah, this is all-time highs on CF. And so the way I'll play it is look for extensions from here. Obviously, we're straight up into the quarterly pivot up there. And there's a quarterly and a monthly both just stacked right there, 109.74 and 109.73. But, you know, unless we gap down and then spike up into those levels, I'm not interested in those levels because we're just kind of up in there right now. I'd like to see further. So, I mean, this thing could go 116, 120 before I even care. It's got a 5-point ATR, right? So 115, I guess, I might start getting interested. But I need to see parabolic action. I need to see it speed up. I need to see an emotional move. And then I want to see some sort of that buying just taper off real quick and just see where the longs that bought up there, you know, that's what I always try to do is try to picture like, oh man, how would I feel if I just bought right there and then it has a pullback and we're extended? I'm probably finger on the sell button, right? We've all done it before. You get that FOMO, you chase that entry and you go, oh crap. So like that's what I want to see is that emotion on the chart, and then I want to fade that. I want those people on the other side of the trade for me.